Mr. Chairman. Dr. Hamburg, welcome. Appreciate all that you do. There have been good questions asked about FDA approval of certain drugs, drug shortages. These are issues that I have concern with. But in fairness to your time, I want to shift to a couple subjects that probably have not been brought up. And one is the shellfish ban that the Chinese have imposed on on shellfish coming out of parts of Alaska and the West Coast. This is an issue that might be very narrow in its scope, but has great impact in certainly a portion of my state, impacting some basically family-owned businesses that are really taking a real hit right now. We sent a letter on March 6th to encourage that there be a delegation to go to China to discuss this issue with the Chinese to see if we can't get faster resolution of this. I understand from NOAA that this meeting is scheduled in China for March 21. The U.S. delegation is going to include NOAA, USTR, and USDA's Foreign Ag Service, but not FDA. The question to you this morning is, can you give me any assurances that we are fast-tracking a resolution of this issue, what FDA's role is, and if you will be sending somebody as part of that delegation, and if not, why not?
Well, this is an issue that obviously has great importance. It is something where NOAA and Department of Commerce has the lead in terms of the interactions with the Chinese. We have been providing information and support to them, as well as information about public health assessments to the Chinese, to our Chinese counterparts as well. We are not going to be formally part of the delegation, but we'll be in contact with them. We'll be working with them and supporting them, and we also do have an office in China to provide additional support. So we will have input, but we are not in the lead on this. Our focus is really on the public health assessment, and this is
well, and I understand. I appreciate that. My only concern is that if there are issues that arise in this meeting that speak to the specific jurisdiction of FDA, I would hate for things to be held up.
And we will be available to them, and they know it 24 hours a day to provide that technical support.
Then I would like to turn to a subject that I have brought up in before this committee, and no offense to the chairman here, we often refer to this alien species of fish as a Frankenfish. No offense to Senator Franken here in any way, shape, or form.
Offense taken, however.
I will.
There's actually an inflatable Frankenfish that I've seen. So.
Oh, now see, that's even worse.
That is worse.
That is worse. I don't want to consume my time here talking about how bad the name is. We'll refer to it as genetically engineered fish, and specifically salmon. You know that I have very, very strong concerns and reservations. I don't need to show you pictures of beautiful wild Alaska salmon. I have them here. But I will show you a picture of the eel pout, which is where the DNA is taken from this kind of slimy, ugly eel bottom-feeding fish that is injected into a beautiful Chinook salmon in an effort to cause these fish to grow quicker so that they can get to a market more readily. I continue to strongly oppose FDA approval of genetically engineered salmon. I don't believe that the FDA has adequately studied the environmental effects, the economic impacts, not only on the wild salmon themselves, but our seafood markets, and let alone the potential health impacts on humans. So given the concerns that I have and many, many others have, can you assure me that FDA is prepared to deny approval of the sale of GE salmon to consumers if your agency determines that it cannot guarantee that it's safe to eat?
You know, this is, if we could guarantee that it wasn't safe to eat, then it would not pass our approval standards.
All right. Because what we're looking for is we want this assurance, and we don't know that it is safe to eat. we don't believe that it has been determined that this genetically engineered salmon would be safe to eat. We also haven't been able to determine whether or not it would impact negatively, jeopardize the wild Alaska salmon. So I would ask again, you look very critically at this. The threat, I believe, not only to humans for consumption of this bizarre fish, the threat to our wild stocks, and then if in fact FDA should advance to a level of approval for sale to consumers, I have been demanding that the agency provide very clear labeling to consumers that is in fact what they would be purchasing for consumption. And so what I'm seeking is, first of all, a level of assurance that if it's not safe to eat, it's just not going to be out there for sale. But if it is determined that it should be allowed, that there be clear labeling allowed.
I know time is limited, complicated issue. I can assure you of a couple things. One is that we have been taking a very, very systematic science-based approach to the review of this application. It does represent the first in its class, so to speak, and so it's very, very important as a product in and of itself, and also the pathway for review and approval. We also undertook an environmental assessment, as I think you know, and to address your concerns vis-a-vis the wild salmon populations. And we published in December of 2012 our preliminary findings, sought comment. Actually, we got, I think, was it 33 or 35,000 comments. So this is a topic that people care a lot about. We're going through those comments, taking them very seriously. And, we will be moving forward in a deliberate, science-driven way, reflecting all of the important inputs, including, obviously, the perspectives that you've brought forward today and earlier as we consider this product application.
Well, Mr. Chairman, my time has expired, but perhaps, Dr. Hamburg, you and I would have an opportunity to discuss further not only GE salmon, but progress that we're making in other areas. I have some other questions that I will submit for the record, and I would ask that you pay particular attention to the level of inquiry about how we are doing with ALS research and the meetings, the joint meetings that we have been having with stakeholders, and how we can advance a cure for ALS.
Okay.
Thank you.
Terrific.
Thank you.